Good morning. It's Monday, August 2nd. Finally got that second COVID haircut. Uh, I'm going to answer a second question that got brought up over the weekend. And that has to do with sort of a narrow focus decision and a broad focus decision. So the narrow focus is when you're glazing pots, when I'm glazing pots, how often do I run into a conflict between wanting to glaze it my way, shall we say, or some new way or whatever, versus glazing it with some reliable money making glaze. You know, the whole boring but sure sale kind of thing. This came up a lot more when I was full time and I really, needed to make the sales. And back then, the surefire glaze was the Val Cushing Black. And then, of course, the mine closed and we couldn't do Val Cushing Black and so forth. So these days, I probably should do more now that I can again. But that glaze is also dependent on being fired in a gas fuel kiln, which is down at the art center, and so there are those sorts of things. We used to joke that blue would always sell, and one of the things I've discovered is that there is quite a range of blues, and some of them are less automatic than others, and also because many of my customers are medieval reenactors, and they've been doing their research, they realize how infrequently the historic record shows a solid blue pot. I was actually sort of despairing of them at all, except I think it was at the British Museum. There was this jar, Persian jar, that's entirely blue, gorgeous blue. Blue comes from cobalt, at least in the glazes. I'm not quite sure what the difficulties were in getting cobalt into Europe. I know the lapis lazuli, the blue that goes into paint, or medieval paint, is from Afghanistan and used to be priced ounce per ounce the same as gold. Anyway, so these days I'm less likely to say sure money making glaze. I'm more likely to just sort of do the opposite, which is I want some of these. I know they'll be slow to sell, but they'll sell eventually. And that gets to the heart of it is as I'm making, I more or less need to please myself. I don't get to make very often or as often as I might like. And so I'm pleasing myself, and I'm going with the idea that the pots I make, knock on wood, eventually all sell, or I give them away. They'll find a home. So I don't need to worry about that end. That's one of the benefits of being a part-time potter is I'm not desperate to make the rent money, by next Friday. So it takes a lot of that financial pressure off. We have joked for years about the Everything is Blue shop at the Kansas City Renaissance Festival, and there's a potter there who, for decades, has offered his customers any color they want, as long as it's one of these 3 shades of blue. And the pots are adequate. They haven't changed much over the years. And he's got a life he's happy with. And I presume he does more than the Kansas City Renaissance Festival. I'm sure he's got booths and others. Their time slots are scattered throughout the year. He's found a way to make pots and make a living with blue pots, blue glazes. So his decision making is a lot simpler than mine. Have a good day.